As usual, I want you to think. I think the picture is visible. So, what comes to your mind? Your mics are on. Give me some responses. Anything, not necessary. It should have a very relevant, answer, or because picture will generate different varied emotions. Not necessary that they should be uniformal. So, each one of you, at least tell me a one or two line, narration. Not necessary that you should have to guess here. I'm not giving anything to guess. Not necessarily it is connected to any particular event of the history of England. I'm just
Sir, England's workhouses?
workhouses. That's what you mean, right, Anuradha?
Y-
Workhouses?
Yes, sir. Rise of those kinds of.
Okay. Rise of workforce in the sense
Sir, workhouses.
workhouses. Can you elaborate it?
So these places where they used to keep orphans and get them to work and give them
Orphans.
shelter.
So that is your perception. Because,
Since that boy is there.
okay, do you think he is an orphan?
Possible, sir.
Possible. Of course, you can attribute any status to him because
Yes.
a poor guy cannot speak. He is a
Yes.
pictured countenance
A
now.
silent spectator.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's been immortalized in that state through that artist who has portrayed him.
Okay.
All right. What if I ask you to imagine a boy, obviously, who you can see on screen in the street of Stratford upon Avon, and looking at some traveling artist putting up a wooden stage on street for performance of that day.
Shakespeare?
Obviously, yes. So you can imagine, right? I mean, that was the thing. In the background, you can see that temporary structure could be a stage, a theater, moving theater that we used to call it. So in those times, they were wooden structures. Often they are traveling actors. There were, and boy, of course, doesn't seem to have a very royal, background. May not have great education. Obviously, being very young, may not have had. If we are referring to Shakespeare, since we have somehow figured out it could be Shakespeare, but he has this. You can say vision to do something extraordinary in life, become extraordinary. And who would have imagined this ordinary boy without any such background, like good education, royal lineage, royal blood. So in that sense, and not really mentored by great people. And as you Anuradha put it, being as if an orphaned, fellow, right in midst of the street, could someday produce such works, and the words from which work continue to resonate and continue to echo even after centuries. 21st century words still sound relevant. So I just wanted to tell you that he was an ordinary man. Shakespeare, as you all know, never went to uh, perhaps colleges or universities. Had primary education, as we gather from some documents. His father, John Shakespeare, did send him to some grammar schools where he would have picked up some Latin and Greek mythologies. Vocabulary and some access to those mythological stories and other such legendary or folklores and figures and all that, which later formed the theme and sources for his works. uh, all right. Now, can you, okay, since he's a very popular, name, and English literature cannot be imagined without Shakespeare. We are not straight away going into Shakespeare today, but I just wanted to start somehow, for some reason with Shakespeare. Though it will take some time for us to delve deep into Shakespearean, works in general. But today we'll prepare the platform for that. But at the outset, in the beginning, I just wanted you to just give me something. What do you know about Shakespeare? I mean, what comes to your mind? At least some quote, some words from Shakespearean plays or sonnets that you have read. What is most fascinating for you? What lines that come to your mind, and which one impressed you or that you liked most? At least one of you, I mean, all three of you can give me one or two lines from either plays or from sonnets if you remember. Even if you don't remember, that is not a crime, that is okay. Because we are living in a transitional period, or a period where Shakespeare has actually taken a back seat. I mean, people are moving ahead because there has been, exhaustible kind of research has been done on Shakespeare, and people are looking beyond Shakespeare. Already the time has come. Now the focus, on Indian literature, feminist writing, and the Commonwealth literature, they're all just gaining more importance in academics. But still, Shakespeare relevant. I mean, remains relevant, and he keeps haunting. Uh, as someone puts it, he is not of an age, but he is for all ages. And true to what T.S. Eliot puts it, he continues to breathe in the works of all great, classics, if we have to term them, of all modern literature. Even in modern literature, Shakespeare breathes through his universal sort of philosophical gospel-like, things on each and every aspect of life. Before we knew that, Shakespeare already had named almost half of human emotions. That would not be an exaggeration. So I've asked you something. If you can give me one or two lines, if you know anything, at least, because uh, if I ask you about Franz Kafka, if I ask you about Albert Camus, if I ask you to quote something from Somerset Maugham, or such writers, you may not know. I mean, you may not remember, so you may not have read much about them. But if I ask you to say something about Baudelaire, but I'm asking a very traditional, familiar, popular name, at least out of 37 plays, which play you have read? I have read only 5, 6 of them, not all 37 plays. I am making a candid, confession. It's not even possible also for everybody to read everything. And at the same time, you may not have, found, I mean, may not be an inevitable situation for you. I mean, you may not have had such compulsion to read all. So in life, as a student or as a teacher, am I audible? Why are you being very quiet?
It's interesting listening to you.
Okay, thank you.
I've
Uh,
I've
yeah,
read Julius
yeah.
Caesar,
o-
Tempest,
Okay,
Hamlet.
good, good. Okay, all
I
popular
think
plays.
very
Yes.
long ago, as you like it, if my memory serves right.
Okay. Remember anything from those plays?
Midsummer Night's Dream also.
Okay. You remember any line, impactful line from those plays?
To be
Okay.
or not to be.
Okay, from Hamlet. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Soliloquies are also an integral part of Shakespearean study, and we'll take it up a little later when we analyze them for different features. Okay, soliloquies. That's, of course, he is remembered for soliloquies as well, famous soliloquies
Right.
that he has produced. To be or not to be, obviously, indisputably one of those memorable soliloquies ever produced in the history of English dramas. So, what
The
is
forum scene also, sir. Somehow it remains in somebody's memory. It remains in people's memory.
okay? How about Macbeth? Any particular line? Anything that comes to your mind? I'm asking everybody, not just Anuradha. Anuradha is responding, of course. I'm listening to her.
All the perfume of Arabia cannot wash away
Oh,
the.
yes, yes. That really is, I mean, I was about to say, in fact,
Mm,
that is also a very, haunting vocabulary or the lines, of course. They mean mm, everything, even if they are read in isolation. They are very powerful lines. They penetrate deep into the guilt, ridden heart, whatever it could be. So you will be easily, able to relate to that mental malady, you can say, that she was suffering from, Lady Macbeth. Though it is termed as insomnia in that play, insomnia or schizophrenia, but we all suffer from one or other sort of mental malady. Only the degree of insanity differs from individual to individual. All right. Who else? Manju and Bharati don't have anything to say. Uh, since I told you, I just wanted to create kind of mood for the discussion. Though we'll not be going into the works. Before that, I need to prepare you for this Renaissance or Elizabethan, life or England. So I'll go back to my presentation. In fact, this I would have started when I had to start my analysis of Shakespearean, plays or works, but I thought I could give you something to ponder over or to deliberate on. So let's move to the actual business. uh, because I thought these things I would be talking alone means may not involve you in discussion, because there is very little scope for such things. But though I can accommodate such discussion, we did see that's okay. It will not sink into your minds, immediately. But as you go back, when I share, my internet connection is unstable, it says. So, am I audible? Now I have to question. Please, somebody reply. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Because I just saw the message popped up on my screen that my internet was unstable. So I asked you anyway, when there is such problem, your mics are on and you know my number, please call me on that, and so we'll find some alternative if there is any interruption. So this, when I share that PPT with you, perhaps you will have it, with you, and keep looking into these things, and they would definitely connect you to different events, incidents, characterizations, and many famous dialogues through all the works of Elizabethan era. You will be able to appreciate them more. I mean, once these things sink into your minds. So it starts with Tudor dynasty of Henry VII. This is the period of his reign, 1485 to 1509. So he is important for our understanding of this line of monarchs. What is the difference between monarchs and kings? Can somebody tell me quickly? Let me not wait for your answers. I'll go on. So monarch can be both man and woman, and male and female. It could be queen and the king, himself. Both of them, either of them can be monarchs. So even Elizabeth I was a monarch. So this is a common name for the, that ruler. Okay, somebody who rules over a particular region or a geography. So king is obviously limited to male, rulers. So that is it. And there are other, small differences. Anyway, so these are the line of, monarchs. That is why we see Mary also in this lineage, being a monarch. Henry VII is important because he is the founder of this, you can say, Tudor dynasty, the actual renaissance, starts, from him or with him, you can say. And this is his lineage. So after him, there is Henry VIII, his son, and there is bit of confusion. I mean, lot of discussion, confusion. You will be there, and they are more abstract and also very vague and ambiguous. Sometimes their relationships and marriages and the line of or lineage of kings. So we'll not go very deep into that all those details, because whatever is necessary, we just confine ourselves to that information. So Henry VIII. Okay, talking about Henry VII, what was very important, in his reign was he breaks from Roman authority, leans towards establishing an English church of its own. I mean, very different from Roman Catholic Church. He has laid foundation stone for, you can say, Protestantism or Protestant church in England. And he also has encouraged arts and artists in his rule during his period. Artists and writers flourished, and obviously he was a progressive man. But Henry VIII is important for few reasons. Like, he married 6 times legitimately. I mean, legitimately he married 6 times, but he had illicit or illegitimate, children and wives, many, So he married 6 times. Why it becomes important? Because he was very particular about a male heir to his throne. I mean, after his rule, he wanted his son to take over, not a daughter. Maybe that was a male chauvinist, prejudice that he too had. Like the entire Europe resonated with that, feeling. So he marries 6 times, and first 2 wives, give him actually the daughters. And there'll be divorces, there will be settlements, there'll be executions, many such things happen. One queen from Scotland stays with him for some time and then divorces him, and wins some huge money in the form of alimony, something like that. And few of them were accused of adultery. They were executed whether there was any basis to it or not. So history is very rich with all those details. Anyway, we're not paying attention and digging deep into those things. And what becomes important is first 2 wives did deliver female children, and there were many. So among the surviving children, of course, Mary was the one first daughter, you can say. There were many, but the names were remembered. Mary one, and from second wife Elizabeth one, Queen Elizabeth, who later becomes a Queen of England. So these are his daughters, and Edward VI was also Henry VIII's daughter from his third wife, but he was a frail man. I mean, frail in the sense, there'll be very interesting things sometimes. Just going at the, I mean, looking at the graph or chart like this, we may not understand. This may not reveal certain interesting facts unless we probe. So one such interesting fact is, if I just have to tell you, because many such things go unnoticed. 1547 to 1553, you can see the period of his reign. How long he has ruled? 47 to 53, 6 years. So he has ruled for only 6 years. But when he became the king of England, or was crowned in that official sense, he was just 9-year-old boy. So how could he rule England, right? So there are such interesting facts, in fact. And so on his behalf, there were other caretakers, guardians, some count or duke of certain places, they ruled on his behalf. They took all the decisions. So this Protestantism was in full swing during his time, which had also started from Henry VIII, in fact, who established, actually did establish the Church of England. I mean, in his times, it was realized, the dream of his father. So during Edward VI's time, whoever ruled on his behalf, of course, did change the very landscape of England. Social landscape, socio-religious landscape of England was totally transformed in this period. There were changes. We'll talk about it little later. So he ruled for only 6 years because he dies at his 15th year from a physical ailment, a disease. Probably that was not diagnosed in those in that period. Maybe it was tuberculosis. So that is what researchers or historians feel, which was always a deadly disease. So certain facts, as I told you, can be missed out if we don't pay attention to it. And then Mary, one or first takes over. And there was again leaning towards Roman Catholics. Roman Catholicism. She believed in Roman Catholicism. She revives all that faith again, and she brings back and she opens all those monasteries which were closed during Edward, sixth time, and priests' authorities, in church were reaffirmed, and there was also some encouragement for Latin learning and scriptures writing, written in that language. And again, in 1603, when after Mary one dies, though she was forced to write someone else's name as the legal heir, but somehow Elizabeth I, her half sister, wins. So the crown, she becomes the great Queen Elizabeth I. So she closes down all Catholic churches, Catholic monasteries, and all institutions again. So you imagine how the confusion among the people was prevailing. Kind of uncertainties ruled the lives of people lived in that period, because it all happened in a single generation. It is not, it happened over 100 years of, 100 years period. People have to shuffle between different identities. So that was the Reformation, in fact, that we talk about. When we say Great Reformation of England, these are the changes. Generally, Reformation, the word is a positive term, which transforms something into better. The previous system, or a human being, or his life, or something will get transformed or corrected into a better possibilities. But here, it begot all confusion. It begot miseries. It divided people in their faith and in their religious practices, belief, and their loyalty to the king or to the crown. So after Elizabeth, of course, James I. So Shakespeare lived during these two periods. Under both Elizabeth and James I. James I's period is also called Jacobean period, because Jacobson is the name for James in, you can say, in Bible or in Latin or some language. I just got confused. So because of that, this Jacobean name is there. So it's just because of the reign of James I, the period is called Jacob's or Jacobean period. He has again a different history. James I, he was not actually from England. He was already the king of Scotland, James VI over there. But he becomes James I here when he becomes the king of England. And again, the story is traced back to this kingly lineage of Henry VII. Both James and his wife, I forgot her name, both are the descendants of Henry VII. So he had that, royal blood of Tudor blood running in his, veins, in his veins. So he had the rightful claim for the throne. And we also discussed it in our, I think, previous session, how we produced the authentic version of Bible after he took over. All that, discussion again we'll take up a little, later in detail.